Do you own and manage single family rentals because professionals say that real estate is a better tool for building wealth than the stock market? And are those rentals that you own more time consuming than you originally anticipated? You just wanted some passive income and to build wealth, but now you got to deal with tenants, got to deal with maintenance and all kinds of other issues. Yeah, that's a common problem. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can invest passively into real estate and not have to worry about any of the work or do any of the things that you would normally do as a single family or even small multifamily owner. So I'm Garrett Lynch and I help people become financially free with real estate. So let's get into it. So you're spending too much time with your rentals. You originally went and bought these rentals because it was an easy entry point to get into the real estate market. And it's kicking off something probably, but maybe not much, especially in this environment, a couple $100 a month. And it's just a ton of headache and you don't want to deal with it. And this is a common issue that you see all the time. It's just something that you picked up because you wanted more stability and growth. And now you're stuck in almost what feels like a second job or a hobby that just sucks the life out of you. And I know that feelings personally because I went from having a large portfolio multifamily down to having an 18 unit, which is actually more than what a lot of people get into. They'll usually have just a couple of single family homes. But that 18 unit building wasn't a big enough building to afford a full time staff. So I ended up doing most of the work on it. And I had one person that was helping me, but she wasn't making that much money. So she wasn't that motivated because the property couldn't afford to pay her that much. So I ended up doing a lot of the leasing myself. I had to get family involved. It was constantly on my mind because the income may or may not come in that month if you didn't collect every single quarter. It's a lot of headache and a lot of work. And that's an 18 unit. Now, if you have single family homes, a couple of them, that goes out or it's vacant for a couple months, you're paying the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and that's not even covered anymore. So it's all relying on just one renter as to how well you do, and that could break apart at any moment. So it's stressful. Not only that, you've got maintenance costs, and you may be going over there a lot. You're spending a lot more time on those rentals than you think. Even if you have a management company, you have to manage the management company. And it's just a lot of headache and work that you probably didn't even consider when you got into it. And you're not really going to know until you actually own a piece of rental property to really understand how that feels. This is a common problem. And so there is a solution to that. There's something called syndication, which is something that we do where we pool our money with investors. So instead of people going and buying their single family rental for $100,000 down payment or whatever it is, they can place it in with a syndication where a group of people get together and buy an apartment complex together. Now, the apartment complex is a really good vehicle because it's got many units. So it may have 200 units. If one person leaves the 200 unit apartment complex, you don't even feel it. So you have more economies of scale. There's less roofs to deal with than a portfolio of properties, less lawns to mow. There's actually room for a full-time staff that's dedicated to that specific property. Now, these deals are big, so it's not like individuals just go out and buy them themselves unless they're Bill Gates or something like that can afford to do that. So we pool investor cash. The cool part about it is that the investors take a less risky position in the deal from a liability standpoint in an LP position, and they let the pros that know the market, that can find the deals, that have the relationships built, that have vendors on the ground, run everything. So a group like us, we come in, we take our fee for doing the service, and it's typically around 20% of the deal. The other 80% gets sold to investors. And then we have a partnership, and the investors just get something like a quarterly report every month or every quarter, sorry, along with checks. So you distributions and a quarterly report and updates as to what's going on with the site. They have open line of communication with their operators, and they're completely passive. And now they have the same benefits on the cash flow appreciation and even the tax side, better tax benefits in most cases than if they had their own rentals. And there's no headache, which is really cool. So this is a different way to invest that not a lot of people know about. where you can be completely hands off and get very similar benefits, the cash flow appreciation taxes. On the tax side of things, most times we do what's called a cost segregation report. Cost segregation report's too expensive of a report to put on a single family rental. It's just not worth it. It costs, $5,000, $6,000 to do. Single family rental, you may not make that up in tax savings, but on a big complex, makes a lot of sense. It's a very small cost compared to the tax benefits that you can get. We give out K1s to investors with losses that can cover up passive gains. And if you're a real estate professional, you can take advantage of that further, covering up ordinary income and capital gains as well. So it's a really cool thing to also throw into the mix. So we're a group that has done this for a while. I've been in the business for 13 years, and it's important that no matter who you go with, if it's us or somebody else, that you understand that that sponsor has to have a track record. They have to have done this multiple times, hopefully in the same market, because they would need to understand the market block by block. That's a really important thing to do. Every street corner is different than the next. And you have to know where you're playing the game. So they should already be local to the market, know what they're doing, have done this many times before. They should communicate. So when you're vetting sponsors, you want to see what is their communication schedule? How are they interacting with you? When do they give updates? When do they send checks? All those things you need to ask. And then additionally, you need to understand what their team is like. So do they have a corporate staff? Are they doing this part-time? Or are they full-time like us? We specifically invest in a full-time staff to manage everything: admin, investors, asset management, construction, and that really helps push things forward. And so if a group doesn't have those kind of resources, you have to really ask yourself, is it worth investing with them? There's other types. Some people self-manage, other people use a professional management company. There's not really one that's better than the other. Some people say that self-management is better. Some people say a third party is better. It's just about how you manage the people that are on the ground. And that's really what's important. So if you are interested in getting into something like this and you're unhappy with your current real estate strategy, reach out to us at nighthawkequity.com. Click the join the investor club button, set up a call with us, and let's chat. Let's see if it's a good fit for you. Typical returns, by the way, is we try to 2x your money over a 5-year period. So if you put in $100,000, we try to turn it into a $200,000 in 5 years' time. And that's through cash flow and appreciation. So you get checks along the way and then a big check at the end along with your original investment back. So that's how it works. Yeah, my name is Garrett Lynch. Reach out to us, nighthawkequity.com. Look forward to talking to you.